There's a version of you that never learned to doubt herself, and she holds the key to everything you're searching for. What if the most powerful source of confidence wasn't something you needed to build, but someone you needed to remember? Deep within your psyche, there exists a core self, an essential you that remains untouched by criticism, unchanged by failure, and unimpressed by external validation. Carl Jung's revolutionary work revealed that our deepest psychological work isn't about fixing what's broken, but about returning to what was always whole. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about archaeological work on your own soul, excavating the radiant being buried beneath years of conditioning. The path to unshakable feminine power begins not with looking forward, but with looking inward to the primal, intuitive self that remembers your original design. Think of a time you felt truly, completely alive. Maybe you were lost in creative flow, or speaking your truth without filtering it, or following a hunch that defied all logic. In those moments, you weren't accessing a new part of yourself. You were touching the essence of who you've always been before the world told you who you should be. Jung called this the self, the central archetype of wholeness that orchestrates our entire psychological universe. But for most women, this core self gets buried under what Jung termed the persona, the mask we create to survive socially. We become the good employee, the nurturing mother, the agreeable partner, until the mask fuses to our skin and we forget the face beneath it. The anxiety, the self-doubt, the feeling that you're performing your life rather than living it. These aren't signs of personal failure. They're the symptoms of self-betrayed. They're the quiet protest of your essential nature, reminding you that the costume you're wearing doesn't fit. So how do we begin the journey back? The first step is the bravest. We must stop looking for answers outside ourselves and start listening to the wisdom that has been whispering within us all along. Your intuition is the compass your soul uses to guide you home. This listening requires a fundamental shift in how you relate to your own mind. Jung described the unconscious not as a dark cellar of repressed desires, but as a vast, intelligent ecosystem, an inner wilderness teeming with guidance. Your dreams, your sudden inspirations, that gut feeling you can't explain, these are not random neural firings. They are messages from your deeper self, sent to guide you toward your own fulfillment. Think of a recent decision you made against your better judgment. Perhaps you stayed in a conversation that drained you, or said yes to a commitment you knew would exhaust you. What was the subtle signal you overrode? That quiet no you ignored? That was your essential self, your inner compass, trying to steer you toward what truly nourishes you. Every time you dismiss that inner whisper, you send yourself a powerful message. Your own knowing cannot be trusted. And so, the cycle of self-doubt deepens. But here is the turning point. You can begin, right now, to reverse this pattern. It starts with micro acts of trust. The next time you feel that subtle pull toward a creative project, away from a draining person, toward a moment of quiet, honor it, even in a small way. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about the quiet revolution of choosing your own inner authority over the loud voice of external expectation. As you practice this inner listening, you will inevitably encounter resistance. This is where Jung's concept of the shadow becomes essential. The shadow isn't a monster in your closet. It is the collection of all the parts of yourself you've been taught to disown. Your ambition, your anger, your sensuality, your need for solitude, your power. Society often labels these traits as too much or unladylike, so we learn to lock them away. But a power that is disowned doesn't disappear. It just goes underground, where it can manifest as passive aggression, chronic fatigue, or a critical inner voice. The path to genuine confidence requires you to open the door to this shadow and invite these exiled parts back into the light. This is not an act of self-improvement. It is an act of radical self-reclamation. It means looking at your anger and asking, what boundary is this trying to protect? It means looking at your envy and asking, what desire is this pointing me toward? Your shadow holds not your darkness, but your disowned light. This work of integration naturally leads to a transformation in your relationships. When you're no longer outsourcing your sense of worth, you stop attracting people who reflect your own self-doubt. You begin to notice a fascinating shift. The people who drain your energy become less interesting to you, while those who inspire and support you seem to magically appear. This is Jung's principle of projection in reverse. We often project our own unlived potential onto others, admiring in them the qualities we haven't yet claimed in ourselves. When you reclaim your own power, you stop needing others to be powerful for you. When you embrace your own creativity, you stop being dazzled by the creativity of others. Your relationships become less about filling a void and more about sharing your abundance. This is where true confidence blossoms, not from being admired, but from no longer needing the admiration. It's the profound security that comes from knowing your value is not on the table for negotiation. Of course, this transformation will be met with resistance from the outside world. The people who are accustomed to you playing a certain role may be unsettled when you change the script. You might hear, "You're different," or "You've become so serious." Recognize this for what it is: the friction that occurs when your authentic self begins to outgrow the containers others have built for you. This is the testing ground of your newfound confidence. Will you shrink back to make others comfortable? Or will you hold the space for your own becoming, trusting that the right people will adjust and the wrong ones will fall away? The woman rooted in herself understands that her growth is non-negotiable. She offers compassion to those who struggle with her changes, but she does not apologize for her evolution. This journey inward will inevitably lead you to a reevaluation of your life's narrative. You begin to see the stories you've been telling yourself about what you're capable of, what you deserve, what is possible, as constructs. Many of these stories weren't written by you. They were inherited from family, culture, and a society that has very specific ideas about a woman's place. Jung called the process of rewriting these stories individuation, the heroic task of becoming the unique individual you were meant to be rather than a generic product of your conditioning. This involves looking at the core beliefs that structure your reality. I'm not the creative type. I have to be nice to be loved. Success requires constant sacrifice. Are these truths? Or are they old programs running on autopilot? Deconstructing these narratives can feel like losing your footing, but it's in this space of not knowing that your authentic self can finally speak. From the rubble of the old stories, you get to build a new world, one designed by your own values, informed by your own wisdom, and aligned with your own soul's purpose. This leads us to one of the most profound aspects of Jungian wisdom, synchronicity. As you align with your essential self, you may begin to notice meaningful coincidences, the right book falling off the shelf, a chance meeting that opens a new door, an idea arriving at the perfect time. Jung saw these not as random accidents, but as evidence of a deeper intelligence at work in the universe. When you are in flow with your own nature, life seems to conspire to support you. Opportunities find you. Resources appear. This isn't magic. It's the natural consequence of being in the right place, psychologically. You are no longer fighting the current of your own life. You have become the current. This is the confidence that transcends self-help techniques, a deep, embodied trust that you are exactly where you need to be and that life is not happening to you, but through you. The universe conspires to support a woman in her truth. Ultimately, the confidence Jung guides us toward is a homecoming. It is the end of the seeking and the beginning of a profound, unshakable belonging to yourself. It is the realization that you are never incomplete. You are just distracted from your own completion by a world that profits from your sense of lack. The journey is one of remembrance, of gently discarding the layers of who you thought you had to be to rediscover the magnificence of who you are. This is not a final state you achieve, but a daily practice of alignment. There will be days you feel connected to this power, and days you feel far from it. The work is not to never fall, but to always remember the way back. When you do, You'll discover that the confidence you've been seeking your whole life was never a destination. It was your origin point. It was the you, waiting for you to return. This reclamation extends to your physical being. You begin to inhabit your body not as a project to be perfected, but as the sacred ground of your experience. Jung emphasized the profound link between psyche and body. The tensions you carry, the places you hold pain, these are often unexpressed emotions, forgotten memories, and silenced truths speaking through your flesh. The confident woman learns to decipher this somatic language. She listens to her body's hunger, its need for rest, its desire for movement and pleasure. She stops waging war on her physical form and begins a respectful partnership. This is a radical act in a culture that encourages women to view their bodies as adversaries. Furthermore, your relationship with time transforms. The frantic urgency to achieve, to prove, to become begins to soften. You understand that your worth is inherent, not earned through productivity. You grant yourself permission to move at the rhythm of your own soul, to savor stillness, to waste time in ways that feel nourishing rather than guilty. This is the confidence of essence, the deep, cellular knowing that you are valuable not for what you produce, but simply because you exist. Perhaps the most beautiful outcome of this inner alignment is its ripple effect. A woman who is grounded in her own worth does not see other women as competitors. Her confidence is not a scarce resource. It is a renewable energy that multiplies when shared. She becomes a source of genuine empowerment, naturally elevating those around her. She cultivates communities where authenticity is cherished, not judged. She understands that her personal healing is a thread in a larger tapestry of collective awakening. By remembering who she is, she makes it safer for every woman to remember who she is. This is how we change the world. Not through force, but through the quiet, relentless revolution of women returning to their source. So I leave you with this invitation, the same one that begins every true journey. Are you ready to stop seeking a confidence you were told to construct and start remembering the power you were born embodying? The path is here. The guide is within. All that's required is the courage to take the first step inward. If this vision of soul-based confidence resonates with you, please support our community by liking this video and subscribing to Winds of Thought for more journeys into self-discovery.